Hello and welcome to Maverrik Live. I am your host today, Luke, and today I'm joined by Josh Sylvester.
Hello.
Hey, I wanted to give a little lead up before I said it, as in like popped over to you, Josh Sylvester,
Yeah.
and you jump out and say hi.
And I just kind of said hello.
High energy, that's what we like. So today we're talking about how to use trends as a business. Every time I bring you in, we're kind of talking more about social media side of things, talk about Instagram, but today we're talking about trends, and trends is a thing which everyone is trying to jump on. I mean, we started going into TikTok now, Maverrik TikTok, Maverrik_, if you want to check us out on there. You can see a lot of it is trends, a lot of the trends that you see passing all through social media. Some of them generate from TikTok a lot of the time. You can say, oh, it's just this trend that someone's grabbed. But how do you use trends as a business? Because you can see a lot of times where businesses use trends and it hasn't really gone their way.
Yeah, well, they do say follow the trend, and for ages I didn't believe that. I thought like if you're late to a trend, there's no point in like doing it, whatever it is. It could be through social media or anything, you know. But I'm a big believer in it doesn't matter if there's a trend, that is what's hot at the moment, you know, and you should be jumping on that. That is the, you know, and if you can be like a trend setter, I guess, that's even better. That's like the goal.
Yeah, I feel like when people start off with their trends, what they do is they follow other people's trends, they get big in their own name, they get their brand down, they get their style down, and then they start their own trends going forward from there. So they probably started from just following normal trends. Because I think back in the day, there was less competition. There's more competition now to get in front of anyone online than ever before. Like right now, we're doing this show. There's probably 19 other shows all called something like Maverrik Live or with a studio setup. Well, as good as us because we're awesome.
It's like, like everyone's doing a podcast now. Do you know what I mean? That's like the trends. But I always think like, there's these viral trends, but you should look at it, especially if you're doing it for your own business. You've got like external trends, which is like TikTok, Instagram, whatever, but then you should a lot of the time look internally, like see what your best content is. Like for example, like I do this on Instagram, I'll look through my content, what's got the best likes, and then regurgitate it, do you know what I mean? And that's like your you know, trend in a sense, is your own viral trend. It's just what you're doing best, and I think that really benefit any business if they don't just look externally, but look internally and see what you're doing right, you know?
Yeah, amazing. So we'll look into how to use trends as a business going forward. So we've got to be implementing the new tools. Essentially, when businesses are looking into a new trend, they feel like, oh, this isn't for us because then I'd be like, oh, is this too childish, or you know, this isn't something we want to try. But a trend doesn't have to be just, oh, people are using content in a certain way. New tools can be a trend. So on LinkedIn currently, I mentioned before, polls are doing a huge number of rounds on it. People are using polls for engagement. I'd say that's a trend that people are now doing. And beforehand, it was short form content, videos. I think back in the day, probably like 3 years ago, people were just screaming about video content, saying like, get your videos out there, get your videos out there, get your videos out there. Now a lot of videos are out there and they've moved on to their next like tool. So if you try and find new tools going forward, but any social media puts out, like we're talking about reels now. I showed you a metric when we put a reel out compared to some of our image posts, and you could see the traction like literally just spiked.
Well, it's you're using their new tools, their new babies. They're going to promote you just for doing that. But like going back to the point, implement new tools, like you think, like you said, things are too childish. I remember there's this huge thing about TikTok being way too childish for ages, and then you've got some of the biggest brands in the world jumping on it, and they're jumping on it for a reason. So you know, why not? But yeah, implementing new tools like reels and stuff like that, and like we've now shown that the success you get just from, like I've been banging on about, jumping on exactly what the new content is that they want, the new tools that they want you to use, just hammering them. Yeah,
some of the biggest celebrities will be the first people to adopt these new tools and use new way of doing things. And even if they don't get them right the first time, they still like get loads of tractions because it's because of their names, but also because they're not scared to just jump on it. Like I thought TikTok was also like, oh, I'm nearing 30, I can't use TikTok, what the hell? And I saw like The Rock is on there. You've got loads of like late night talk shows who do it, you know, just like showing their clips. People are everywhere, brands are on there as well. So it's not being afraid to just jump in and go, look, you know, this might feel like a childish trend at the minute, but going forward, if you adopt it, you'll get good figures.
But yeah, that's like, I think a massive example of jumping on new trends that I've seen that has been very successful is if we talk about, say, like the fashion world. I see like now, you see these big brands, say like Louis Vuitton or someone like that, they make digital clothes for, say, computer games or something like that, and then that company sells them and just has and they both have a cut each, do you know what I mean? And it works so well. It's like with the whole NFT craze, like why would you want to buy virtual art? But big designers and big businesses are all jumping on this because it's the hot topic. It's not only could you potentially make money out of it, it's getting your name out because people start writing articles about you. Like the guy from Twitter who sold the first ever tweet for like 3 million or something like that.
Yeah, there was a very big spike right as it happened, and I think it might be settling down a little bit now. But when the trend hits, if you hit that curve, it
doesn't matter.
It's like a skateboard. As soon as you start going up, you've got enough momentum on it. It's
just going to get natural. Forward, you're going to get natural traction. That's why you see a lot of YouTubers that just hammer like whatever. They're like a lot of people just react to videos, but it's easy for them because they got the trends there for them. They can jump on, but it's trying to figure out how you can kind of duplicate that as a business and how you can increase
You mentioned
reach.
Before how businesses sort of join a little bit too late. You think we're too late to a trend. So now we're talking about discovering these trends on it, because a lot of the time you think to yourself, oh, there's so much content out there on this trend, I've missed the boat on it. So where do you find trends currently? And a lot of the time you look on any social media platform's discover page, like their homepage, their base of scrolling. What they're showing you, and they keep showing you, is probably a trend within your sector. So if you go on your discover page, look and see what's trending in your network, you can kind of gauge where the overall trend is.
It's a very good point. Like that is a great idea to just use the discovery page as your sort of within your sort of ecosystem, your bubble of social media, to see what other people are doing. It's like researching your competitors really. But
if you look at trending hashtags on Twitter, and you can see in the UK's most trended will be different from another country's most trended. Your own For You trending hashtags will be different. Because if you think about it nowadays, everyone has their weird social bubble. I'm going to say sometimes it's politically motivated, other times it's business motivated, but it'll show you what it thinks that you like. So if you try and open up your settings a little bit and try and go on a little discovery page of what's doing the best numbers, you can kind of gauge where the trend lies for like the world.
Yeah. I was trying to think. So when you're discovering new stuff, how I'd normally go ahead about it is just looking at a lot of these apps, say like Instagram and Facebook, they actually release the notes of what their changes they're doing, and that they normally got like really cool videos explaining how to use these new things, because they're excited about it. And then when you see they're really excited about something, and that should be like $signs to you. And think, I'm going to use this. I'm going to explode.
And then losers like us unpick it one by one, by paragraph by paragraph, and be like, "What's this doing? What are you doing? What are they doing? Oh, they're doing this now. Change it." And we've got a big siren going, "Change everything!"
Like when Reels happened, it was like I remember looking at it like, "Oh, it's just TikTok, innit? It's just TikTok." And I'm thinking, well, obviously they're doing that because it's the trend. Instagram literally doing what we're discussing now. They thought, well, TikTok's doing well. Let's do it.
Exactly. And use the platform, because it's just like the Discover page. You keep using it, you're going to be shown what you want to show. So I just chuck that in there as a...
That's a big one, isn't it?
Just go on the Discover page, but Discover page is also using the platform
We
itself.
talk about it all the time, don't we? Every time we're on here, again, just use what they're giving you. That's the most important thing. This is the biggest bit of advice I could give you for growing or following or anything that will get being successful on social media.
If we're looking at social selling, in a sense, being on the platform means you're doing research, because most of the time people will be like, oh, you're wasting time just scrolling through your feed. But we can do the argument like, but Mom, I'm doing research. It really is, because you're actually seeing what content is performing. So if you take an analytical view of what you're doing, rather than just like mindlessly brain dead scrolling, you can see what's working. You can see where people are going, see what people respond to, and you can even like pull for a few connections or followers in the meantime. So using the platform isn't a waste of time at all.
No, of course not. Like especially at Maverrik, we've clearly shown this as well. I had a conversation with one of my really good friends on the phone, and he was like, Josh, I don't get it. Like, how do you guys do it? For some reason, my LinkedIn is dominated by you and the people that work with, but I'm only connected with you. And I'm just like, well, that's what we do best. We study these trends and we understand, how to harness each trend to our advantage.
Yeah,
and it's clearly, it clearly works.
It comes with its highs and lows where we're on other people's page and we're like, I can't escape you guys. You're everywhere. I hate it. Why are you appearing on my screen? And then we just sort of do this is what we're doing, it's what we're good at. And then the following hashtag. So these are the more niche trends. So you can have these global trends, like these big, like TikTok trends of doing these different challenges. Ice Bucket Challenge was huge. Those are the main trends. But you can also have like very niche trends. So if you follow the hashtags within industries, maybe technology, maybe sales, they'll have their own challenges, have their own like upscales in what the latest news is. Because I think industry news can also be like quite trendy at the time. Say something's changing, which is exciting for us. We will tell you it's a new trend that goes out. Like I said, polls, big one. Say that's a trend in our industry in particular. So you can actually niche down in trends because they're not just the worldwide trends. They are, small trends.
And not just like trends in a sense what you think is a trend, like, oh, what's the next big thing or whatever. Like I remember recently, obviously going through the horrible lockdown that we've been through, and I remember doing for some of the work I do for people is in a place called Guernsey, and even this was a small trend, like this fact that we've got these hashtags coming off, like, oh, we stand together, or support local, Guernsey together, or whatever it was, and that was all coming through just following like the local government or whatever. But you can then take that in a sense of what I'm saying, like to whatever you're doing, like you're saying with like the business sector, what the next big thing is or whatever. If you just look, you'll see these little hashtags trending, and it's good to jump on them. It really is. But you should always think, like, as well, like I always say, not just the big hashtags, it's trying to, like we're saying, the niche ones, it's trying to find the littler hashtags, because you'll actually find you'll get a lot more engagement, and you'll get more back from it if you spend the time trying to find these little niche hashtags.
Yeah, if you've got a bigger following, you'll have like the big fish, small pond sort of syndrome, where you're kind of on it. But in terms of like local hashtags and following, if you're trying to like work in a certain area, if you're trying to grow businesses in a certain area, it is good to find those local communities and what we're talking about. So say there was an event that happens, locally, you can just talk about that or give your input on something like that. So say there's some reform that needs to happen, or there's a pothole that needs to be filled in your local borough. You could jump on that, do something about it, and then you give yourself a higher name in that area. Little things like that.
You will find that by doing that, like, you not only does it make you look better, but like you're like engaging in your local community, and people really appreciate that, and you will see a huge boost to your engagement.
Awesome. So I think that's the end of Maverrik. I didn't put any like flashy end to it like I was going to do. But yeah, if you're going to use trends as a business, ensure that you are just willing to accept that if you do something right or wrong, you're going to get some people won't think you're just jumping on a hashtag trend. Some people will really enjoy it. So when it comes to trends, it can be an up and down sort of cycle. But don't be afraid to join one, in a sense. Don't think you're over the hill. Don't think you're too stuffy as a business to try and be a part of one. But also make sure...
Too late.
Or too late as well, but also understand what the trend is. I think that's a big one as well. Because there was a few times where I've seen like a hashtag trending, and obviously the company hasn't done the research into the hashtag. So they've made it about something else they've interpreted from that hashtag. So say it was a World Book Day, and they were like, "Oh, it's World of Books," something like that.
Yeah, you should like always look, and don't just do it. You got to think. There's a lot of hashtags and trends can be for like almost like a touchy subject. So just try and don't push yourself too much when it comes to some of these.
Yeah, play it by ear. Don't try and jump on someone's like birthday. If it's someone's birthday trend, it's nothing to do with your business. Be like, "Hey guys, it's us." So it's like, this is about John's birthday. What are you doing here? That's great. So thank you for coming down, Josh.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thank you all down for watching Maverrik Live. Down for watching Maverrik Live. I'm hip now. I'm on TikTok. We will see you on Friday for our next Maverrik Live. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on all our social media channels. And we'll be back on Friday for our next Maverrik Live. Thank you again, Josh.
See ya.
And we will see you next time.